Hello friends and happy November. Today is actually Halloween, or it's not Halloween. This is going up on Halloween. I'm filming this the Friday before Halloween, and that was the day that we celebrated at school. So hence I was Minnie Mouse for Halloween this year. So that might be a little weird for the video. Let me go change and not be in a Minnie Mouse costume anymore. Maybe find something more Thanksgiving-y, fall-y, November-y. And also I should probably decide what we're going to talk about. So, oh, and coffee. We need coffee. This is coffee chat. Also, did you see my ring? It's no good. It's a little bit serious. Anyway, all right, I'll be right back. All right, I think I missed my opportunity to use the Halloween mug since this is a November one. But look how beautiful that one is. Oh yes, dogs, make all the noise. Okay, did I use Hello Fall last time? We can use Pumpkin Latte this time. Let me double check. All right, last time we used Pumpkin Latte, so I think today we're gonna go with Cozy. I think that'll be good. All right, we are all cozy and ready to go here on this November coffee chat. So welcome to November. Only 2 more months left in this year. Yikes. I hope your October went really well. Let me know down in the comments anything that you learned in October, anything that was interesting about October. October is always quite an interesting month because there's a ton of stuff going on, and then on top of that, like, the seasons are changing and it's just like, it's busy. My October was very busy, very overwhelming. It wasn't too terribly bad, but I have been so exhausted the last few weeks that it's just kind of been like absolutely insane how exhausted I have been. So I'm hoping to combat that a little bit in November, and part of it is just that we have had a lot of craziness going on, and there will not be as much craziness going on the next few weeks. And then, you know, we have a week off for Thanksgiving, so let me know down in the comments also what your Thanksgiving plans are. What are your favorite Thanksgiving foods? Do you have any Thanksgiving traditions? What are you doing? We are going with my husband's family down to Disney for Thanksgiving, which is really exciting. I have never been there for Thanksgiving, have never been there for Christmas, and it's gonna be all Christmasified, so that's super exciting. And then we are also going to have fried turkey, which, if you've never had fried turkey, it's the best kind of turkey. Like, turkey should only ever be fried. That's my personal opinion. It should only ever be fried because it is so much better fried. So very much looking forward to that, and all of the pie that comes with Thanksgiving. And mostly I'm looking forward to Thanksgiving because Thanksgiving means it's almost Christmas, and I am like unnaturally excited about Christmas already. All of that being said, reminder, if you are going to do seasonal products this year, do make sure you get them out early. Like now, could you sit down? No. Now is a great time to get your seasonal products out for Christmas at the beginning of November, so they have plenty of time to rack up some search. People are already searching for Christmas stuff. I've already seen a couple of people buy some of my Christmas stuff from years past, so do go ahead and start looking at all of that, and if nothing else, at least figure out what you want to do, because again, the earlier you can do it, the better. All that being said, let's talk about a couple things. So we're going to talk a little bit about Easel. We're going to talk about and 2 things about helping you with time management. So number 1, let's talk about Easel. I've had so many people ask me my thoughts on TPT Easel lately, and so I thought I would just kind of address it. I think Easel is great. The problem that I see at the moment is that, at least for my niche, I don't see a lot of music teachers using it. Now, music is very different than other courses, and so you might see lots and lots of people in whatever, you know, grades and niches you are working on using Easel, but personally I see that not a lot of people in the music, elementary music specifically, are using it yet. So the reason I'm telling you this is because a lot of people have asked me, and they're like, it's so much work to, you know, go in and put all the text boxes and stuff. You can opt your resources into Easel without putting all of those things in. So you do not have to go through and do all the text boxes and all the like movable things you can just opt them in and then teachers can do them themselves. Now, if you're gonna do that, do be aware, you know, that if someone is expecting all of that to be done and it's not, then that's not cool. So maybe in your description say, you know, you can use this with Easel. However, I have not, you know, added all the stuff, so you'll have to do it yourself. It doesn't take a lot of time. But the reason I'm saying that is because if someone does want to use it, then they can, and they can add all that stuff themselves, but you don't have to go through and do all of that, especially if you don't have a lot of people using them. I think you can also now see stats on Easel, and so that might help you make decisions as to whether it might be useful in order to, you know, should you go through all of the work of putting in the text boxes and that kind of stuff into the product. It might help you make your decisions more easily because you know, actually have data behind it versus just what you think. But that's kind of personally where I am with it, is my resources that are Easel would work with Easel are opted in, but I have not gone through and added all the stuff into them, specifically because I see not that many music teachers, elementary music teachers specifically, using it. So that's my 2 cents. That's where we are. I think it's a great thing. I definitely think you should have them opted in if you wanted to, and if you do see people using them, or if you want to encourage people to use it, then go ahead and do all the extra stuff. It is a huge plus, and so you can, you know, also advertise that in your description. That can be something that helps your resource stand out from other ones, is being able to say, hey, this is Easel compatible and it's already got, you know, everything you need in it and all of that kind of stuff. So you can think about it and you can definitely do it and go for it, but that's just, you know, a lot of people have asked, so I thought I would go ahead and tell you my little 2 cents. Specifically, I saw that in the Facebook group. I have a Facebook group specifically for people who have taken my courses, and that was pretty much every month I post up a like call for questions and just have people ask questions, and that was one of the questions that I got this time, and I was like, let's talk about that. Another question I got was on prioritizing your work, specifically prioritizing the order of your content. So like blog posts or YouTube videos, and trying to decide like which one comes first. And I wish I had a great thing to tell you about this, but the best thing I can say is you just gotta decide. So when I go through and I'm trying to decide what I want to do, the first thing I look at is anything time bound. So for example, I am posting a Thanksgiving lessons. Those need to be posted before Thanksgiving. They need to be done pretty early so people have time to use them before Thanksgiving. So that is something I know that I need to prioritize and get out sooner than other things. So those are kind of like those things that really need to go out at certain times should probably be your number one thought, like what needs to go out when. Once you've figured out like, okay, I need, you know, this one needs to come out because it is related to something, like maybe if you have something related to testing, you'll make sure it's out before testing starts and that kind of stuff. Beyond that, it's honestly just a judgment call. What I like to do is don't look at just like 1 week at a time. Look at least a month, even better, like a whole quarter, and try to figure out your content that way, because you can make it flow together a lot better. So one thing I've been working on is making my content flow a little bit better. I'm not great at it yet because I have a lot of things that I want to say and a lot of things I want to do. But like, for example, I am posting a blog post in the next few months that is about one of my digital games that is in my TPT shop. Along with that, it is like specifically for a certain concept. I'm posting a blog post about like ways to teach that concept, which I will then mention this product in. I'm also going to do one that is like games for teaching that concept. So I'm doing lots of different things in order to like make those flow together, and so people can read them, you know, week, and it'll like go really well together, and it will also just, you know, they can kind of build on each other. You don't have to read them in order, but you can. So that is one thing that you can look at, is like, how can I make this flow? You know, if you have something that like this has to go out, think like, is there something they need to know before this? Is there something they need to do after this? Even just like for email wise, I sent an email this week that will come out actually the same day as today about like my favorite things to do post Halloween and like how to deal with the post Halloween crazy. And so that one's going out actually on the Sunday of Halloween, but for people to read, you know, that first week of Halloween. And so like think of those kind of things. What do they need to know before, what's after, what is time bound? And other than that, frankly, it's just a judgment call. I would say try to mix up the like type of post. So if you have one that is, you know, like here's one really specific lesson, then maybe have like here's 3 or 4 different activities that go along with it, and you know, like just change the style of post or video. But yeah, mostly it's just a judgment call, and I wish I could tell you something better, but that's about all I got. All right, 2 more things. As I mentioned, October has been very stressful, and part of that is I have been so tired, and just like between school and all the extra stuff and the season changing, and just like it's just been a lot. And so I've been having a really hard time getting up on time, which is a problem because, you know, if you are part of the TPT morning check-in, that I work in the morning. So if I don't get up, then I can't do my workout and I can't do my work before I go to work, which means that then, you know, the emails don't get sent and the videos don't get posted, and all of that stuff that's very, very important to get done does not get done. So there's 2 things that I started doing this week that have helped a ton. Number 1 is I like to have a warning alarm before my actual alarm, because I do not like just like being asleep and then being like, all right, you're awake now. I'm like, no, 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 no. So I like having a warning alarm where it's like, okay, you need to get up soon, but not yet. So then I can like kind of roll over. I can like mentally prepare. Usually I'll sit there and I'll think about the things I'm excited for the day, because that like makes me want to get out of bed. And so, you know, I'll be like, okay, I have this class and they're really fun. Oh, and we're gonna have, you know, we're going out to eat tonight or whatever it is. And that can help me to kind of get more excited. So, but my problem was that I was using the same like alarm sound for both of those things, and so sometimes my you actually need to get up alarm would go off and I would think it was my warning alarm, and that was confusing. So I switched them to 2 different sounds. So now there's a different sound for my warning. So I hear this sound, I'm like, okay, I need to get up soon, but not yet. And then I hear the other sound, I'm like, okay, I need to get up now. So that's been really helpful, especially, you know, in your sleep deprived state. Sometimes you can't remember and you can't look at the time because that's too difficult, I guess. I don't know. Anyway, and then the second thing that's helped is I downloaded a new alarm clock called Alarmy. And this one is specifically, I'm using the free version, but the reason I downloaded it is because it makes you do missions. So what it does is you set it up with something, and in order to turn the alarm off, you have to do whatever the mission is. So there's like a puzzle, there's like math equations, there's like how many steps you can set it, like you have to take so many steps. You can do like squats. The one I chose is like scanning something, so you can pick what you scan, and I picked like my deodorant because it's all the way in the closet, and I know I'm always gonna have that same deodorant, and so I know I don't have to change it, because that was my concern. I was like, what if I like scan the soap and then we get new soap and then I can't scan it? Like, is it never gonna go off? I don't know the answer to that. I feel like there should be a fail-safe somewhere. But that has helped a lot, because like I just needed something to get me actually out of the bed. Like, I'm fine waking up. It's the actual getting out of the bed that is a struggle, and it's gonna get more and more of a struggle as it gets colder and colder. Right now, it's actually really nice. It's only 68 today, and it's like sunny. It's beautiful. But it will get cold eventually, I assume, and it's even harder to get out of bed when it is cold, because then you're chilly and it's just not fun. So I wanted to make sure I had, you know, was working on this. Now I will admit I do find it slightly annoying, because you do have to get out of bed or it just keeps going off, and when you have a husband that is in the same room with you, that is not really an option. So it is a little bit annoying, but it's good because I haven't overslept since I downloaded that and started doing it, because I have to get up and I have to walk all the way, you know, across over to my closet. And by the time I do that, I'm like, okay, I'm awake, even if I don't want to be. And one more thing, since we're kind of, that's like tying into productivity, and the end of the year is coming soon. So if you had goals that you wanted to meet, you only have a little bit of time left to do them. I have a whole video about how to meet your goals in Q4, so you can check that out. I'll link it down below. But one thing that I have been doing that has helped me, that is just a small thing. I love this I love these videos because we can talk about like all the little things that are helping instead of like these big monumental changes. I'm like, here's a little thing that I'm adjusting and it's helping, you can do it too. And so this thing in particular is that I have, okay, well, here we go. So usually in many time management books that actually I think are really great, I was looking to see if they were over here, they're not. They always say like, oh, you should write down your 10 top goals every single day. And I'm like, okay. And I did that for a long time. And then I was like, I felt like there wasn't a big point, specifically because, you know, my like top goals in my life, a lot of those are things that are not going to happen for a really long time. And so it's like, I'm writing down these things, but I'm not actually like anywhere close to hitting any of them because they're so far out. And so that was, you know, it's like good to remember, but also at the same time, it was kind of like annoying to do it every day. So I went down to doing it once a week. But what I have started doing the last couple of weeks is that every day I write down my top 10 current goals or projects so that I'm actually working on them. So in my full focus planner, y'all, some of you have said like, oh, the full focus planner has way too much space. The day is not over yet, and I'm using all of it. I have like barely anything left. And so what I've been doing is I write down my top 10 goals or projects that I am currently working on. So like right now it's number 1, finish up the fall Becca's Bible class products, because I have a couple like Thanksgiving things that I need to, actually I just have one more. I just have one more that I need to post and get out, and it's a freebie. And then like number 2, hit 100 products for Becca's Bible class. Number 3 is like do the Becca's music room, batching those blog posts. And so these are things I'm like currently working on or I'm about to work on. So like one of them is something for you that's coming soon. I guess I can tell you, I'm making a goal setting workshop. And so that's on here, even though I haven't actually started it yet, but it's coming soon. And then like wake up on time is one of them because I need to work on that. And so just things like that, things that I'm currently working on or about to work on so that they're like in my brain. And so I've been writing them down, and then each one has a separate color. So I go through and I highlight them with the color. You could also use the colored pens. I do love my colored pens, but I've been using the highlighters and I just kind of like them at the moment. And so I highlight them with those colors, and then I also highlight anything that I'm doing today in my to-dos with that same color. So for example, let's see. Oh, so for example, one of my goals is batching my Becca's Music Room blogs. And so one of the things I need to do today is iron out my content calendar, because I have like all the blog posts that I'm posting, but I honestly, I kind of messed it up a little bit and I changed some things. And so now I need to adjust my content calendar so that I know when everything is going up so that I can then post them. So I used a certain color blue for that, for Becca. What are you doing? If you're on the podcast, my dog is like attacking me. What? You just want love? You just want love? Is that it? You want to shake my paw? Nice to meet you. Hello. Batch Becca's Music Room blogs is in a certain color blue, and then I use that same highlighter to then highlight, like, you know, iron out content calendar on my to-dos. And that way I can visually see, here are the things I'm working towards. Here's what I'm doing right now today in order to make progress on those goals that I'm currently working on. And it's so much more motivating than those like long-term goals that I'm still excited about, but they're so far out that it's just, it doesn't feel like I'm making a huge progress on them at this very second. Along with that, I've mentioned before, I have like 2 different kinds of highlighters. And so I have like certain ones that are like, this YouTube channel is always this particular color pink, and then I have like different shades of pink for like projects like that goal setting workshop is a different color pink, so I can see like all of the pink is this YouTube channel because YouTube's red, but I can tell that there's, you know, they're related but they're not the same thing is kind of my point. I hope that made sense. So then what I do is I write those down every day, I highlight, and then I highlight what I'm doing today to actually move forward on the goals. It takes like 2 minutes to do that. And then at the end of the day, I'll go through, or sometimes the next day, and I'll check mark everything that I made progress on. Even if it's just a little teeny tiny progress, if I made any progress on it, I put a little check mark, and it just makes me feel so happy. It's that, you know, it just fills my Enneagram 1 heart with joy to check things off. And so to look at my goals and be like, oh, heck yes, like I, you know, filmed a video today so I can check that off. I worked on some new flashcards today so I can check that off, you know. And so like just all of these different things that I can check off because I'm working towards them, even if it's just in an incremental way. And then it also makes you feel closer to them because you're like, hey, I did actually make some progress on that goal today, and that's really nice. And then looking back, you can flip through and see both the colors and also the check marks. And if you're not making progress on something, you can be like, oh, hey, that's why, because I think, you know, didn't do anything. So that has been extremely motivating for me. If you are someone who likes to check off things on your list, you might also find that helpful. So try it out. It might be too much for you. I understand that not everyone takes as much joy in planning as I do, but I just find it extremely amazing. I love planning because then when I have a plan, I can execute the plan and I get to check things off, and then I know that I'm moving forward, and it's just a really nice little cycle. So I hope all of this was helpful. Let me know down below, again, Thanksgiving traditions, what you're doing this year, what your favorite Thanksgiving things are, how your October was, and if you have any other comments or thoughts or ideas about anything we talked about today. So thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you later. Bye.